Welcome inside Harmony Rucker League fans, episode 6 of the podcast. I am Walker Ward alongside my partner, Mason Howard. Crazy. We were just talking. It's already it'll be week 7. We're on episode 6 here. It will be week 7 coming up. This week was kind of a crazy week. We had a lot of teams that beat teams that they shouldn't have beat, teams that lost to teams they shouldn't have. It was all just we only had one team that went 3-0.
Yeah.
And we only had one team go 0-3.
Yeah, it was really crazy. And right afterwards, I think I was talking to you or somebody. It's like, that's really crazy. Only one team went 3-0. I think they were like, really? Like, is that crazy? But most weeks, the top teams beat up on the bottom teams. And we've kind of seen that all season, is that, like, the parity in this league is wild. Like, we saw a team will beat the best team in the league and then lose to 2 mid teams. So really it's wild, but it makes the season so fun and makes the season so fun to talk about.
It does. And I think we're starting to, we're getting here kind of coming up. Well, the midpoint's already gone, but teams are starting to figure each other out. And with that, the Black Panthers been sitting atop of the standings the whole year. They still are on top of the standings. They went 2-1 this week, and that's a team that's been going 3-0 every week.
I know, yeah. The game that surprised all of us was that Storm comeback. So the Black Panthers are up, 19-9, 19-10, roughly in that range. And then Colt Landers decided, you know what? Basketball's fun when you start trying at it. And he was knocking down twos. He was getting to the rack. He was playing good defense. And we saw the Black Panthers go down. What should be noted, though, is that they have 2 losses in the season without that second-round pick.
And who is it?
That's Gavin Hubka. Hubka is 12-0 in the Rucker League. The Black Panthers are obviously 12-0 when he's playing, 4-2 when he's not playing. So, they're still just as scary, even though they have that second loss on their record.
And, their only loss, their loss coming this weekend, both of their losses this year. One was a game winner from Reed, Olsen from the Wolves. And then this other one, the final score was 20. What was the final score of that game? 22.
20-21, I think.
Basically like a 1 or 2 point loss, right?
Yeah, because I think Ethan Lane had a layup for a game winner, and he just kind of put it off the side of the rim. And then, Colt Landers
also had a chance for a game winner earlier, but he also put it on the side of the rim.
Yeah, and then he decided, I'm one time's enough to miss a shot. Don't let me get my second chance, and they let him get his second chance at it.
But what we're getting at is the Black Panthers have broken that 100-point plus minus. They're at 101 points. Having the only 2 losses being close games doesn't really hurt it.
Yeah.
They're still on pace to have the best plus minus in HRL history.
It's so wild.
Another reason why we had to include them in the greatest Rucker team of all time. Now, their playoff, where they end up in the playoffs is yet to be determined, but they're putting up numbers.
I know we don't want to spend too long on it, but it's crazy. Most teams are lucky to get to the plus 100 mark. That means you just had a good season, and we just passed the midpoint of the season, and they're already plus 100.
Already there, so
it just shows you offensively and defensively how good of a team they are.
And with that, let's go to the team sitting at number 2, but maybe not for long. The Wolves have kind of had a rough couple weeks ever since Miss Ruby went back to Australia.
Yeah, without their owner there, they are 2-4. Really struggling. I don't know. I think JT might have been there last week. He wasn't here this week.
He's gone every other week because of his job.
Okay. So he wasn't here this week. So then that's another sub. And we had one of our sources tell us that the Wolves looked really tired out there, and their old age might be getting to them. Something I heard Father Time wasn't too happy about.
I can attest to that. I think Father Time isn't necessarily very happy with people claiming that Father Time has caught up with the Hispanic Titanic, Mingo Kingsley.
That's a new nickname. I've never heard that one before.
But so I don't know. Have you, and another thing that's happening is Zach hasn't necessarily maybe been playing his best.
He hasn't, no.
I mean, do you have any thoughts on that, I guess?
Um, I mean, I know that he had, like, with a lot of owners, like I'm good friends with my owners.
Mm-hmm.
Like you build that relationship with your owner, and when my owners weren't there, it kind of made me feel a little sad when I was playing. We've had a better weekend since my owners have returned. I just wonder that without having his owner there, if he's missing a little something to his game, maybe him and his owner do a little some rituals or something before the game to make sure he's locked in. And the shot's been off lately.
Mm-hmm. 2-4 in the last 2 weeks here.
Mm-hmm.
Not ideal for the number 2 team. Um, I don't know. We'll have to see coming up here. Week 7 coming up. Trade deadline fresh, fast approaching. It's here. It's here.
If you got to make your trade, which you should, because I'm telling you what, not all of you guys are championship contenders. No matter
No,
what you owners believe, you guys are not championship contenders. So, yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later.
but another team that has been looking to trade all season but hasn't done it gets their third piece to replace. You have to help me out with names here.
Oh,
I'm blanking on the Lions.
I don't even remember. Well, Mabel kid.
Oh,
you talking about?
yeah. I can't think. It's an Eichen is his last name.
Ike,
Anyways,
we'll just call him Aiken. Yeah.
get their third piece for the rest of the year. Joins the Lions. The Lions go 2-1 this weekend, beating the Gators, the Wolves, and their loss coming to the Black Panthers, which
By
that
3.
was a close,
Yeah.
chippy game. I saw a little bit more fire out of Quincy Berlin.
Did you?
He's always that happy, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here to like put buckets on your guys' head.
Drill 3 in your face. Ha ha ha.
And there was a little chippiness there, and that's a little scary for the league.
I mean, yeah.
What is Quincy Berlin happy is scary. What is Quincy Berlin with a little piss and vinegar in him?
Think about who just called him out last week too. It was Anthony.
It wasn't, and
Anthony
that's who he was chirping at him there for a while.
Anthony called him out, but I mean, I looked at the stat books. Guess who had 6 threes on the Lions' head? Anthony Keeney. Get him in the MIP. I've been calling for it all weekend now. I mean, I really sat down and watched the Black Panthers played when I could. I already knew he should be in the MIP, but he really plays well for that team.
He does. Speaking of 2-pointers, and speaking of Quincy Berlin dropped 41 points this weekend.
Yet again, I mean, I feel like he's put up 40 on a regular basis.
30 of them came from beyond the arc.
And it's not even like he's getting catch and shoot because he doesn't have facilitators on his teams. He's taking the most outrageous, egregious step back and like just drilling them. I'm not even surprised when I'm watching them. Most guys you'd see do like between the legs, crossover, step back, down your throat, and everybody goes nuts, and then he just walks it off. And everybody's
it's just like that, a quarterback in football, drops back. Screw it, Randy's down there somewhere, tosses it long. Quincy's like, I'm going to shoot it. It'll probably find its way in the bucket, and it does.
And when he slightly misses and rolls off the rim, guess who's there to clean it up? Logan Torgerson. Oh, you left Quincy for a second because it was a rebound. Now he's getting a better shot. He's drilling it.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you're not fooling Quincy Berlin twice. He's draining that.
He's draining it. Now, what's tough for those Lions is that we all know how scary they'd be if they did have Adrian Reynolds.
Yes.
Or if they maybe still had Peyton Olsen around to kind of help out.
Yep.
Injuries have really hurt that team, prevented them on making a trade even to help out Quincy. I think the Lions are kind of a standstill. Quincy's going to have to keep on just putting the team on his back. I talked to him this weekend. There's going to be a couple more weekends where he's not there this summer. So, I mean, you can kind of book him in for 0-3 weekends those weekends.
You got to think that,
They start sliding down the standings. I mean, if they were to reach the playing games, anything can happen in one game.
Next thing you know, you get to a lower seed. You've got to maybe you play the Black Panthers. Maybe you play the Wolves right away. If they can hang up there, that's a tough first round matchup, Obviously, you got to beat them to make the finals, but another team that what are they? The Storm.
What? Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you can just tell people at home what did the Storm do and what did they not do pretty much this weekend.
So the Storm went 1-2. Not a great weekend. They lost to the Suns without Caden Stetler, without Jay Brink. And who's there?
I
Oh
think
no, yeah, that's the
that's
only
it.
two.
Yeah,
And then they also lost to the Wolves, who, the Wolves have been kind of on a slide.
yeah.
But they beat the Black Panthers.
I know, and it
And they
was.
come back and Colt Landers, LB was quoted on saying, and I overheard it, that if we traded for Colt, we'd have to give up a shooter, and then we have Ethan and Colt. We don't really have a shooter. And I don't think he's going to necessarily care. It was very evident that Colt Landers responded to that saying, how do you like that? You saying I'm not a shooter. How do you like that?
Did you hear what he was saying to LB and everything? I mean, there was definitely, because now that you say that, I overheard Colt Landers walk around saying like, I'm a shooter. Like he was saying that to people. Like he's like, I used to shoot the ball all the time in high school. I don't know what you guys think. I think I'm not a shooter around you. Like he was legitimately saying that, and now it all makes sense when we talk about how LB didn't want to trade for him because he wasn't a shooter. The man was just lacing 3-pointers,
sandbagging us this whole year. I don't know. The Storm, if Colt, I don't know. They got the two losses to, I would say, teams that are maybe, the Suns were low on players. The Suns we'll get to the Suns in a minute, but like they lost to a Suns team that got obliterated in their other two games. They didn't even score double digits in their other two games, but then they beat the Storm. And then the Wolves, who are kind of on a slide, get their only win of the weekend over the Storm, but then the Storm beat the Black Panthers. Our team's either figuring out, maybe Colt knows the secret recipe to stopping Ethan Lane.
I mean, those two are good friends, and I mean, you watched him guarding Ethan Lane in the post. I mean, that's Ethan's best matchup in the post. He wasn't able. The passing lanes aren't quite there. It's a little tougher to make a move, get inside.
Colt's a big guy. Maybe he was telling Ethan like, "Hey, man, you got to get in the weight room more to hang with me." Something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, talk about HRL bigs. Usually, an HRL big is like somebody's like 6 foot, just lanky, but Colt an actual HRL big.
Yeah, the fact that I was considered a big, I mean, it's just because I'm a big guy. Like I am not a big. I'm 6 feet, but making big times plays this weekend. Our Polars went 3-0.
The only 3-0 team that was aforementioned.
No.
Yeah, tell me about them. I mean, I gotta say, first off, it must feel pretty good because you did come from the cursed Gators, who was going 0-3.
Hey, we'll get to the Gators in a minute. They had a good weekend too.
They did, but now you're on a team that's going 3-0, and it looks like it's pretty fun out there.
Bryden Ball is back and better than ever. I mean, we've got two players on the Polars now that have championship experience. And we're just going to guide Jeffy along that way, bring him with us on the path, and maybe we can turn it into something.
Has Jeffy been in a championship before? Was he on that Suns team? I think he was on that Suns team that took the Wolves to 5 games.
Yes, he was.
So, I mean, he's got to be hungry.
Now that game I remember because Jeffy was gassed that game. Jeffy's cardio needs to increase. But, being 23 years old, he's starting to get up there in age. Jeffy, I'm talking about.
Yeah. But I got to pause first. A video has just been released, actually, of you having to run killers after the game. Let's roll the clip real quick.
Late for the first game. Gonna show up late. We're gonna pay. We hold ourselves to a certain standard here. Come on.
Oh, no, that's my pig.
Keep going faster. Come on.
No. I'll take one. What? Shoot for that.
Let's go. Finish it out. Sprint all the way through. Finish it.
Good boy, Rocker.
Boy. That's why we went 3-0.
Okay, that clip just rolled.
Yeah.
What was that all about? Why was 77 making 77 run some killers?
So I was at home here. I set my phone out on the deck. Phone overheats. I'm like, well, I know it wasn't time to go yet. So I bring my phone inside, set it down, go back in the backyard. My sense of time is a little bit off now. I'm doing my thing. I'm get my sundial out. I'm like, wait a minute. No way. It can't be. I run inside. My phone's finally cooled off. I click on it. Holy crap. It's 3:58. I'm in a panic. I got my jersey, trying to find my shorts. I'm like, oh, I think I got my shoes, my ankle brace, everything's in the truck. Phone starts ringing. It's 4:02. Wyatt's asking me, where are you at? You guys are playing. My mom is texting. Everyone is texting me, where are you at? So I showed up late. I show up. We're down like 9-4 to the Red Raiders. And I'm like, this is not a good situation I'm walking into. I hear OG 77, timeout. Just upset. And I'm like, I'm going to get my butt chewed. He comes over to me, said, I'm sorry I'm late. Just lost track of time. He said, it's all right. Make it up to me out there. And I mean, I show up and we went on like a 10-0 or close to a 10-0 run. Next thing you know, it's 15-9, 15-10. And then we close out with like a 21-15 win. And yeah, at the Polars, it's a little bit different than the Gators, where we don't have a remote owner who is basically just reading stats and does stuff off the team. I've got a real hands-on owner who holds us to a high expectation. This is a championship organization that has won in the past. And, our owner was a part of that team. So he has a certain expectation. And part of my punishment, he was very glad that I showed up, that I was effective out there on the court, that I did my job. But that's not enough to make. So I needed to run some gassers. And I'm sorry, 77. It won't happen again. I will be better about my time. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, shout out that trusty sundial.
Yeah.
If you weren't for that sundial, you might have completely missed the game. And I mean, that's a great 77 impression that you did, by the way. Like,
yeah,
just prove it to me out there. I don't care about it right now. Just make it up. And that's what you guys did. First 3-0 weekend for the Polars and probably all season.
Speaking of, now we're filming this on Tuesday.
Yes.
So we have
much earlier in the week than we
schedule conflicts. Things are not lining up. So we're filming this on a Tuesday, and Player of the Week just dropped.
It did, yes.
And who won Player of the Week?
It was Black Panthers, 2-1 Black Panthers, Ethan Lane.
Much deserving. Now, he had 24 points, 48 rebounds.
It's a lot of rebounds.
It's a lot of rebounds, and 14 assists. Now, I believe he had a steal or two in there as well. 2 steals. It's respectable.
Very respectable.
But do you know what Bryden Ball's stats were?
Hit me.
33 points.
Damn.
11 rebounds.
All right.
7 assists.
Pretty good.
5 blocks.
That's nuts.
And 3 steals. And a 3-0 weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Bryden lacked in the rebounds and assists, he did things that you don't see in the steals and blocks. You don't see somebody put up 5 blocks, almost 2 blocks a game.
Now,
for a guard.
My argument, about him not having the rebounds, he's a guard. So
exactly, how often is he that close to the basket to go get those rebounds? Usually, it's the guy who kind of hang on the basket, go get the rebounds. The fact that he's getting those blocks as a guard is absurd. I mean,
I would be down there trying to, I've got my hands up. Bryden sees it. He's like, he's playing good defense, but I could get a block there. All of a sudden, I look and Bryden comes flying through the air like a polar with wings.
A prime Father Time, some say.
Prime Father Time. Is he out of his prime?
He wouldn't say so.
Bryden comes in and just swats that out of here. But it was but we are looking at Bryden potentially being gone this weekend. So
and we heard Bennett last week say that he thinks that him and Bryden are getting shipped because of how often they're gone, because Bennett's gone as well.
They're not. It's
we
have a certain expectation of the Polars, like I said, and it's not happening. But we spent way too much time on the Polars. I want to talk about the next team we're going to talk about that was missing their first round pick and their third round pick, I believe.
Yes.
And didn't have a great weekend. They went 1-2. the Suns. But now the Suns only win come over that Storm team that beat the Black Panthers, but then the Suns also in turn get absolutely obliterated by I'm blanking here. The Polars and the Black Panthers.
Yes.
I think they scored 8 on the Black Panthers and maybe 9 against us.
So when they played you guys, did they have Connor Danielson at that point?
No, they did not. I think Connor Danielson, did he only get there for one game?
He might only got there for that win against the Storm because very controversial. I wasn't a fan of this, but Riley Means was playing for the Suns.
He was.
Potential Hall of Famer Riley Means.
Potential.
Owner of the Suns. It was like an 8-10 game or something like that. It was a close game.
In the Hustler t-shirt, might I add.
Yes, he was in green. And Matthew McCormick shows up, Suns sub. And if you don't know Matthew McCormick, he's a ball player, but not the biggest guy in the world.
I think he's like young too.
I don't think he's that young. I think he's not the biggest guy in the world.
Oh, okay.
He's a high schooler.
Okay.
So, I mean, probably younger because, I mean, I suppose some of us are like 20 years old. But
yeah.
So, yeah, younger. And, yeah, I mean, they didn't score points, I don't think, the rest of that Black Panthers game. Next thing against you guys, barely put up any points. So, I mean, that was really tough for them.
No, Connor Danielson was there.
Oh, was he? Okay.
He was there. Yeah. Yeah,
then
he was
I gotta
there
say, okay, if those three can't put it together, who is that fourth piece that drives the Suns?
Is it one of the two guys missing? Is it both of them?
Is it? I mean, one of our sources put on the anonymous story that it's Caden Stetler that drives the Suns, not Jaden Brink. And the stats might actually back it up, too.
That was going to be my next question. I mean, is there anything to back that up?
So I don't know if you remember last week, Jay Brink's first week on, everybody's like, Suns 0-3, book it. Caden Stetler was there. What'd they end up going? Do you remember?
Was it 3-0?
It was 3-0. It was 3-0.
It was.
I remember, I think it was about 2-3 weeks ago, no Caden Stetler, Jay Brinks there was his little squad. They went 0-3.
Did they go 0-3?
I'm pretty sure it was during the same, it might have been during the same stretch. Because I remember when we played them the first time, I believe they went 0-3. And then when we played them that second time, they went 3-0 that weekend. Only two guys that flip-flopped was Jay Brink and Caden Stetler.
It's interesting. I can't comment on the situation because the Suns owners are going to give me flack for talking about them. I'm not allowed to say the word bright thing in the sky. I'm not allowed to say that word, actually. So
I heard that. I'm pretty sure Riley means that. I saw him bugging your phone, actually. So if you were on the phone with anybody about the big bright thing in the sky, that they would take the bright thing in the sky.
There might be a cloud covering that, and maybe there might be something coming in there.
We'll
Speaking of a team going 0-3, having maybe some problems, the Knights did not have it going this weekend. They lose to the Polars, the Red Raiders, and your Hunters.
Brand new Hunters. Yes.
I don't know, Knights. You guys are so...
I don't know what
hot
to say
and cold.
about the Knights.
You're up and you're down. There was the Knights game against you. The Knights game against the Hunters. Knights first round pick, Grant Kennedy, has 1 point, 2 assists, no rebounds, a non-factor in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think
was it Greg?
Yeah, it very much could have. I mean, they were guarding each other. I think that a team almost takes the personality of their owner, if you will. They kind of play how their owner wants them to play. And what's Matt Lutz? Non-existent. And what's this Knights team? Non-existent. And I mean, I don't even know what to say because I feel as though like, oh, they'll go get a big win. You won't hear about it. They'll go take a huge loss. You won't hear about it. They just kind of float around this middle, but they're just not ever playing super well consistently. And I think, somebody needs to send a messenger pigeon to Matt Lutz. We need to maybe contact him from the Upside Down.
Speaking of, I maybe did get a message an anonymous little tip from Matt Lutz. Crazy. Didn't expect to get him. I was like, oh my gosh, I got a message from Matt Lutz. I
sure.
quickly grabbed my phone.
To alert the authorities that he's not missing currently.
This was the weekend that he was present at the
Oh,
HRL.
okay.
And he wanted to just give me a little insight. You know, we were just talking during it. And then after he leaves, he's like, oh, I forgot one more thing. Sends it to me over text. I'm like, thank you for this information. Send it back. It's been a week. It's been a week and 2 days now. Still hasn't opened that message. That is Matt Lutz fashion right there. But one last thing I want to touch on before we
what's
move.
the message? You're gonna share?
Oh, I know. I can't share that. That's
Oh.
got to be kept in house.
Oh, okay.
But one last thing I want to touch on. If I'm Trey Matheson, trade deadline's coming up. Am I saying something's got to happen here?
Sends off the pigeon.
Send that carrier pigeon out.
Saying, I need help. My help's not Grant.
Trey, it's now or never. Grant, it's now or never.
Are
Matt,
the pigeons gonna like run into each other in the sky, and that's why they're not gonna reach Matt Lutz because the pigeons are running into each other?
If anybody wants anything to happen with Matt Lutz, I'm gonna say you're gonna have to go through 77 and not me. That's the only guy I know that can consistently at least communicate with him.
I mean, it's pretty impressive by 77.
But let's talk about a team that isn't maybe looking to trade and is maybe on the rise. The brand new Hunters.
Man.
Get Greg back.
And it was a fun weekend.
Oofda. Greg back helps your team immensely. 265 guys. Shrinks the floor.
Yes.
Tell me about this weekend.
So I mean, going into that first game against the Knights, It was a little nerve-wracking because I felt like the expectations had just risen. It's just like we don't have the excuse of, oh, we don't have Greg anymore. It's like it's win now. And it was like 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh goodness. Oh, are we good or are we not good? And then Greg pretty much said, he goes, you know what? I'm here. And he went off. He had like 10 points that game. We ended up beating them 22-9. And then we go into our game of the week, which our owners finally showed up for.
They emerged.
They emerged out of nowhere.
Do they know where Matt Lutz is?
They might have came from the same place he is, actually.
Interesting.
I don't know.
But
I need to ask them about that next time I see him, which I don't know when that'll be. But I think the team actually had a little bit of nerves because the owner's there, because we took a loss to the Gators, actually.
Ugh.
John Prestonman, 15 points, hit a game winner down my throat. Golly, I don't want to watch that one back. But that's again growing pains. We're figuring out lineup issues, figuring out how we can effectively score the ball. I'm not too worried about it. Play the Wolves last game of the night, a light 21-15 win. Greg goes for 10-15 that game. It's the Hunters are legit, and that's what I've been trying to tell people, and that's what it felt like this weekend.
And I'm going to announce it here. That 10.15 rebound performance earned Greg the Brown Cat Big of the Week.
Much deserved.
From Quick Trip. Not sponsored because they won't answer him back.
Open your DMs, Quick Trip.
Quick Trip. My cousin is the dang area coordinator for all the Quick Trip stores, so Will, answer me back.
Have you contacted him yet?
No.
Oh.
I don't have his number. I have to ask my mom for that.
Oh, well, Mama Ward, please.
But then let's go to the next team. Our green cap guard of the week from the Gators, John Prestonman, with that electric performance of 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists in a big, much-needed win for those Gators.
Much needed.
21-19 over the brand new Hunters. Gators go 2-1. They had wins. Now, they had wins over the Red Raiders. We'll get to that in a second. And your Hunters on that game winner. Now, their loss came to the Lions, where they kind of got the brakes beat off them.
Yeah, I mean, this Gators team is just interesting because I would expect in a game against the Lions where, I mean, that third piece for them right now is pretty athletic dude, but not the most phenomenal basketball player in the world, and you have 3 solid players, like find find the advantage. Like Brady Danielson, like step up as that second, go have a 10+ point game. John will give you his, Ryan will get a couple. But yeah, they really got the brakes beat off them against the Lions.
Or Brady just basically just be an outlet for John, try to threat, and then just let John just needs to be the focal point of that team.
I mean, that's what it was. That last 2 games. He had like 15 and 14 the last 2 games.
I did see Ryan Holman had a 10-point game.
Did he really?
Don't know if I think it might have been like 9 rebounds. I think he was just shy of a double-double.
I mean, that's what they need. That's how they are going to win games, is those three stepping up and playing as a unit together finally.
Are the Gators figuring it out?
No.
And that leads us
we'll see.
to our final team, and the Red Raiders.
I mean, yeah, what a week for the Red Raiders, right?
What a week. They had a little bit of a shakeup. Now, they beat the Knights 0-3. What is that? Who knows? But they lose to the Gators and the Polars. Polars 3-0 weekend. But what happened?
I mean, a couple things happened. I don't know where you want me to get at.
Will Harvey missed the 3rd game for the Red Raiders.
What I was thinking
that's
about.
hard. That was against the Gators.
Mm-hmm.
So Will Harvey misses that 3rd game against the Gators. Gators beat the Red Raiders like 21-15 there.
Yeah.
One of their wins.
So Will Harvey misses that game. So, they usually play their lineup of Will, Parker, Jeremy. So Will's gone. Who do you think they would put in for Will?
Well, I mean, you'd have to bring in, it's between Mason Herkamp and Q Tripp, but no disrespect to Mason Herkamp, but give me Q Tripp.
That's what I would think too. We talked about last week. He leads the HRL all-time in blocks.
He does.
When we played him 1 week, he had a 15-point game. He was hitting triples against us, or 2s, I should say.
Uh-huh.
He's a solid HRL player, and he's there, and he's going to give you his best. But man, Mason Herkamp got those minutes.
Really?
Lots of them. I don't know if I saw Q while Mason Herkamp was playing. I was just watching that game, and they got beat by the Gators.
Is Mason Herkamp a hooper?
He was out there.
He was the 50th overall pick.
He was drafted.
Mr. Irrelevant.
And Herkamp.
Was he relevant in the game?
I think his nickname stays.
Okay.
No disrespect to you, Mr. Herkamp. I hope that you come out and you prove me wrong and have a great weekend. But it just shocked me that the 3rd round pick, wasn't in the game. And he didn't seem too happy with that on the sidelines. And, I saw him talking to AB before the day started. And I think that you actually had some release footage of then LB and AB talking some business then afterwards on Sunday night.
So interesting. I guess we'll say, so I was going to ask you, but everybody knows what happened. Q got traded.
He's shipped out of there. Yes.
Now, maybe some rumblings. Q was a 3rd round pick, and he got traded to the Black Panthers for the 5th round pick, who Jose and LB have been kind of beefing the last couple weeks. So basically, no disrespect, but he ships off Jose for Q, a 3rd round pick, and the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Now, in that video, you see LB feeding AB a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah.
Was AB forced into this? Maybe we need to do some IHRL investigation, because
it sure feels like it.
I feel like AB just got fleeced.
I mean, it feels like AB and Q weren't getting along, and out of spite, he's just like, I don't even care what I get for you. Well, AB, you just put him on the best team. Q's happy as hell right now.
Yeah. Q is I wish we could have had, inside of Q waking up to the text, I'm on a new team.
I heard that it was popping bottles with the whole family.
I'm imagining a Disney scene of like Q singing, a whole new day. I don't know, something, clicking his heels, jumping, running down the street.
Yeah, it was.
He literally just went up, said, I'll take a chocolate bar, sir. They opened it. Q opens it up. He's got the golden ticket to the number one team in the HRL. All we got to say is congratulations, Q.
I think Q's the real winner of this trade.
Q is the real winner of this trade. Now,
And I just know Ethan Lane's going to get him playing well, too. I just know it.
but it's week 7.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
That means that this might and hopefully not be the last trade we see. And I'm just going to shift my attention now to the owners who might be watching this. We're recording this podcast early. We're releasing it early, so you guys have a chance to do what's right. Not all of you guys are going to win the championship. Only one team wins the championship. It's now in the next couple days. You guys got to sit down and think, do we have what it takes to win the championship? And if you don't, a lot of you guys have number one guys that other owners are willing to pay you top dollar for. And we all know, there's no secret that hush money's been used in the Rucker League to make trades. So maybe sit down with your co-owners and think, how can we make back our buy-in, if not more, and get rid of one of our players and just walk out if you're happy that we made some money? I don't know. Trades are about to be over, though. I don't know what's on that phone, but all I'm saying is you guys cannot be scared to make a move right now because it'll bite you in the butt come postseason. I'm going to wait till I edit this to see what was on that phone.
Hopefully you can see it. It'll be interesting. You're talking trades. But obviously we got another trade. We got the Q trade for Jose. Maybe Jose can come down to those Red Raiders. Jose's won a championship before.
With who?
Whoa, the Wolves. He was on that Jace Keeney.
He was on that Jace
And no
Keeney
disrespect, we completely forgot he was on that team. But Jose, did you score a bucket in that series? But
because
anyways,
of the championship pedigree.
So now I'm curious. I'm curious as to, like, we know what the standings are, but you have developed some power rankings.
I have. And they are interesting to say the least.
I want to hear your power rankings for going into week 7 of the Harmony Rucker League trade deadline week.
So going into trade deadline week, I just told all the owners that, some of you guys are not championship contenders, and I stand by that. So I'm about to read off my power rankings.
Do you want to go top to bottom or bottom to top?
What do you think? What do you think would be more interesting?
Give me your top ones.
I think.
Do you want to go bottom?
I feel like bottom to top might actually be pretty funny.
Give me the bottom to top.
My 10th team, the absolute bottom of the Rucker League, is the Knights. It's not the Gators, it's the Knights.
The Knights.
The Knights have just been on this roller coaster where I don't think they're getting any better. I don't think they're going to get any better here on out.
Basically, I think they can steal a win from a team in a series, but when it's a series, you figure out one game, maybe Grant hits a shot, Trey gets it, but the next game you're like, all right, we can't let him do it again.
Exactly. I don't think the Knights have what it takes to win a series, much less mini series.
And we can't forget about Shopsky. I don't know. The Knights just seem like they have a good team on paper, but they're just not putting it together. Maybe there's some chemistry issues.
There might be. When we're watching the Knights or playing the Knights, it's not a lot of communication that seems happening within the Knights. It's a very quiet game when you're playing the Knights. It's like these guys are just in and out, passing the ball around, playing some defense.
And they do have Ethan Kingsley. Shout out.
Biggie. But yeah, I'm putting the Knights at 10. I just don't think they have. Right now, again, we're going to trade week. They don't have what it takes to even win a series, I don't think.
So then who's at 9?
9, Red Raiders. Again, the poor get poorer. I think that Will Harvey and Parker Stroff won the best duos of guards.
Yeah.
Jeremy O'Connor is about the best third, fourth man that you could ever ask for. I think he's a better fourth man. Great guy. If the team gets tired, he comes off the bench to be that energizer bunny. Well, he's not the fourth man anymore. He's a starter. That starting lineup's all not well under 6 foot, but pretty much under 6 foot. And so there's no big. You traded your only big for Jose, who hasn't even been there half the time. I don't
Mhm.
know if this will rejuvenate him to show up. Like, maybe they steal a series. I don't think that they have what it takes though, especially if they're going to be at the bottom of the bracket.
You're gonna need if you want to go small ball, you're gonna need your guys to hit shots.
Mm-hmm.
And Will can definitely hit shots. Parker can hit shots. Maybe not at the clip of Will, but I just don't see it.
I don't see it either.
I hope they can prove us wrong.
I do too. I do. I like the tag team duo of those two guards.
Best two guards in the league, together.
Yes, exactly. They
Duo.
put up two double doubles together the other day in the same game. But I just don't think, especially trading where they're big, just doesn't make sense to me.
Let's get to that 8 slot.
Gators. I think they have potential to move up.
They do.
I just think that if John Pressman can consistently play like we know he can play, that they can win a series. So this 8 and up now is like, okay, I wouldn't want to play these guys in a series because I think anything could happen.
2 wins, 1 against you guys, game winner,
Yes.
big, and 1 against a Will Harvey-less Red Raiders. And then their loss this weekend, remind me.
The Lions, big loss.
The Lions, yeah.
I just think that the Gators, they're here just because John Pressman's ability to take over a game. And I witnessed it firsthand when he did it to me. And like, you just need an absolute defensive masterclass to stop him when he's in that mode. So I just don't think that they have the well-rounded team though. To like, John has to just do everything pretty much. Like, you can't rely on other people. That's no offense to the rest of the Gators, but like, it's apparent with how the season has gone.
So if you've got the Knights, the Red Raiders, and the Gators in your bottom 3, I'm trying to think, who do you have at number 7?
It's the Suns.
The Suns?
It's the Suns.
The Suns at number 7.
Uh-huh.
That's an interesting one. Now, why?
Well, think about it. The Suns are in trade talks. Suns aren't in trade talks. The Suns are, I don't know. The Suns are just all over the place. I mean, we have people saying that Jaden Brink's the driving factor. People saying Rylan Ristow. People saying Kane Stetler. It's just, I feel as though they're a team that Jaden Brink's the guy, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's not always playing like the guy, you have a young star who also kind of thinks he's the guy. And I don't know.
Put up 12 points and a win over the Storm.
Is he the guy, maybe? Kane Stetler, I think, is an absolute driving force on the defensive end. The Suns are scrappy when Kane Stetler's out there. I'll give them that. They're very scrappy, but that's what they need to rely on because they don't have a big.
Mm-hmm.
Another team that when they're playing a team that has some tall guys, it's like, okay, how are you going to defend them? How are you going to get second chance points?
Trade deadline is ahead. I forgot I'm not allowed to say the bright ball in the sky. I'm not allowed to say that word. So, but trade deadline is approaching.
I know Jaden Brink
we see him.
Has talked multiple times about how he wants a big man to set him screens up top. That's what he wants. He wants to be able to come off the pick and roll. They don't have anybody that's comfortable setting the pick and roll and rolling for him. So, and Jaden's also been gone for 2 weeks as well. So,
figuring out that shot in Switzerland, right?
Yes, with the lethal shooter.
Yes.
So maybe they move up a spot above the Suns. That's 6 spots.
6
is the Wolves.
The Wolves.
The Wolves.
Number 2 in the standings.
Number 2 in the standings, but they haven't been playing like it.
Do you think getting Ruby back is going to change anything?
I think it's possible, and it's all reliant on if Zach Howgrud can play like an MVP Zach Howgrud. And we'll see. It's somebody, one of our anonymous sources, said that they're older and they've been playing like it. They get a lot more tired. I know I saw when I was playing, we called a timeout, or they called a timeout probably, and they was like hands on the knees. Wyatt Breezer was like sitting on the ground. And it's just like that. I don't know. They're 3 great athletes, but it feels like when you get them moving and running around a bunch that they do tire out. And we are now over halfway into the season. Are their legs hurting from these games? Or is their cardiovascular system?
I guess I haven't even told you this. Do you know that Zach has been having some knee problems?
Has he? I know in the past he has, but
this year, the last couple of weeks, he's been having some knee issues. His knees have been hurting a little bit more than normal.
That's not good. I mean, when we played him, he was the first sub. He didn't even start when they played us. They had Reed Olson start over him. He said he wants more time to stretch out. So again, the whole team is built off of Zach putting up over 10 a game.
I hate outing, not really a source, but I hate to out the guy. Zach has reached out to me and in talks. Obviously he's got Father Time, but Father Time is busy, but maybe some of that Wolverine blood needs to be shared with Zach.
And, we do a zoo not too far away from here that seems to have Wolverines go missing all the time.
There was reports, I guess, in Harmony of Wolverine sounds coming from that neighborhood. I don't know. I know like Jeffy and Zach live together, but
that's true. And I mean, it's kind of strange that Jeffy's been playing out of his mind recently too. Something we might need to look into.
Okay, so that's your 6 is the Wolves.
Yes. So we have only 5 teams left.
There's 5 teams.
And I'm sliding the 5 spot, the Storm.
The Storm at the 5 spot.
Storm
okay.
at the 5 spot.
They're just so
They're so hit or miss. I know.
Losing to the Suns without Stetler and Brink is so questioning to me.
Mm-hmm.
But then beating the Black Panthers.
And I think between the Storm, Wolves, and Suns, I think that you could slide these 3 teams around however you see fit. It's kind of how this whole thing works. I think in the groups of 3, all the way until really the 1, the top of the list, you can slide them around in any order you see fit. But I just think that Colt Landers is
not
Colt
a shooter.
Landers. Well, we thought he wasn't a shooter.
But he is.
Apparently he is. I think you can slide these guys around in any order that you see fit pretty much, and the Storms end up on top here for me just because of Colt Landers. Now, you might like this one, my 4 spot, and we're starting now the championship tier. These are the 4 teams that I think could win a championship this year.
Well,
I'm calling it right now. Going to week 7, the champion is going to be one of these 4 teams.
Okay. Bookmark it.
Polars.
Wow.
Polars are one of my 4 championship contenders.
And I'll be the first to say it is not because of me in any way, shape, or form. It is because Bryden and Jeffy played out of their minds this weekend.
They did. And I think that might just continue to happen.
I don't score, and I didn't need to score because my assist numbers were up this weekend because I'd grab a rebound. Here, you want to shoot? No, wait. Bryden wants to shoot now? And they were just bang, bang. Bryden Ball is just an all-around athlete.
Great athlete. You want to know, who does he remind you of? Kind of the way kind of almost just as an athlete, who does he remind you of?
I mean, he's got a lot of the similar traits that an HRL legend has had, Jace Keeney.
And Jace Keeney, when he first won his first championship, what kind of role did he play on his team?
I guess he was kind of like a third, a 2-3, but he subbed out a lot.
In Bryden Ball, he won his first championship not too long ago. What kind of role did he play on his team?
I guess kind of like a 2 or a 3 option.
Mm-hmm. And now Jace, after his first championship, he came back a year older, a year stronger, and he started running things in the league. Kind of looking that same way for Bryden, too, almost.
Bryden kind of ran things this weekend.
He did. I mean, we talked about how he might have been snubbed out of that player of the week.
Might have.
I think that Jeffy, he's been hypnotized.
I hypnotized them both.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh,
77 and I met.
That makes sense. That does. The Bryden had a great week. And Jeffy's been playing amazing, too, after the hypnosis and possibly some Wolverine blood. I don't know. That's just what I'm hearing through the grapevine.
So then you've got us sitting at 4, which
Yes.
is a great compliment. And who's your number 3 then? I'm trying to
The Lions.
The
I'm
Lions.
saying the Lions. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking there's a team I haven't said yet that I should have said by now, but I'm gonna stick with the Lions at number 3. And there's a reason that they're at number 3, no lower, no greater, and that's because Quincy Berland and no one else.
Not even Torgerson.
Torgy is a great player in his role, but he's a lot of the great championship teams are built when you have a player that can consistently put up 10 a game, but they're not going to have a game. They're in especially in the playoffs. If they're going to be able to put up at least 14 a game, that's kind of what Quincy's doing right now in the regular season. He's put up around 14 a game, I think, and that's how they're winning games. He's having to absolutely carry. Torrey plays great defensively. He stops teams defensively. He gives second chance points. That's why the Lions have been playing so well. But I just think that they need that third option. And this new third round pick that they're bringing in, he seems like an athletic kid. I'm hoping the best for him. I'm hoping that he does provide them some help. I just don't think that they have that secondary offensive star that they need. But the reason that number 3 is because I do think Quincy could carry them to a championship.
I mean, honestly, yeah, like Quincy scores the ball. It's actually, from what I've been told, it's his favorite hobby.
Yes.
And you know what his second favorite hobby is?
What?
Assisting Torgy in the paint. He's
Fair.
the type of guy that he just elevates the play of everyone around him. He has exceptional ball knowledge, and his positive attitude makes him honestly the perfect number 1 for any team.
Yes,
And
it does. Absolutely does.
So then, okay, you got the Lions at 2. So there's a team you haven't mentioned yet.
So at number 2 are the Black Panthers. No, I'm just joking. I have the Hunters. I have the Hunters. Obviously, I know you're now running the comments and screaming bias, and yeah, you could do that. But here's why I have the Hunters at number 2, and they're either 2 words, Jordan, 3 words, Jordan and Greg. No team can match right now the Hunters' size and athleticism.
Some long boys.
A lot of teams have 1 big guy. We decided, why do that when you can have 2 big guys? And these are not just like big guys. These are very athletic big guys. And it was very apparent that it was hard for teams to score on us this weekend, other than when John had a John performance. And that even at that, they didn't play at the same time very much. When those 2 on the court and share the court together, the defense is heightened and the offense is also heightened because Greg had himself a great weekend.
He did.
And again, I'm standing by it that the Hunters, the brand new Hunters, are championship contenders with Greg on the court, as well as myself, as well as Jordan. And of course, can't forget Big A having, I know we say he shouldn't get it because he's already gotten it, another most improved season because he's playing so well too.
So, man, yeah, 6'5" is 6'5". You guys got to figure out some rotations there. I think Big A has been used to playing that third role. How's he going to react to having Greg come in? Something you guys will have to figure out.
And we will.
And then obviously sitting at number 1.
Black Panthers. I don't even go into it. The Black Panthers.
We can sit here and glaze Ethan Lane all we want.
We could. We'll leave that up to Gundo to do.
We'll leave that up to his fan club in the comments.
Yes, we will. Shout out whatever the dude's name is. But yeah, the Black Panthers are just the Black Panthers are Black Panthers. They're great. And that's my top 10. That's the Polars, Lions, Hunters, and Black Panthers are those are my contenders. The next ones are cuties, and then the bottom 3 are they're not in it even. So that's where I stand on it. Yeah, pretty much.
We got to get a post on this on the Instagram and let the people just feast in the comments.
Yeah,
obviously after this drops.
Yes, they're gonna come in my throat, I think, for some of those picks, but I stand by them.
That is a great power ranking. It's an interesting power ranking, right? It's not just black and white like we see in the standings.
Exactly.
Wolves,
and I didn't want it like that.
The Wolves obviously being down there, maybe the actual father time has caught up to the whole team. The Knights, they're sitting at 7 and 11 right now, but the Gators on the rise, Hunters on the rise. They kind of drop down. Can the Red Raiders battle that? Can Will and maybe having Jeremy in there just to energize it? But
they straight away cue. They have a Jose now. It just doesn't make any sense.
But then I would honestly argue that middle of the pack, those teams you mentioned, like the Wolves, the Storm, and the Suns, they could easily slide up into that 4 of the power ranking, that 3 of the power ranking. The Lions could easily slide out.
Down. Yeah.
If Quincy Berlin, who has been told to be gone a couple more weeks, isn't going to be there. There's just so much excitement ahead. We're coming up on week 7 here. Trade deadline. We got to get another trade, don't we?
We do. I mean, I think not just us as insiders, but the league wants it. It is so much fun. I'm so excited to see Quentin Tripp in a freaking Black Panthers jersey and Jose, if he's there, in a Red Raiders jersey. It's going to be so weird.
It's going to be exciting. There's new things happening. And I say it every week, but I just can't wait for Sunday.
We that's what we live for these days, is just wait for Sunday.
That's going to do it for us here on episode 6 of Inside the Harmony Rucker League. I've been Walker Ward alongside my partner, Mason Howard. This was a good one. Things are spicing up. Can't wait to see you guys Sunday at the Rucker.